while I set up the other channel. Looks like that one is coming online right now. I don't know what is going on with the YouTubes, guys, but like all of my bars and graphs that I watch, they're not visible to me. And well, I'm transmitting because I forgot to turn the sound off on the other one. Yay! At some point, you think I'd figure that one out, right? Good morning, West Virginia, Pappy. First, on the clapper anyway, over on the YouTube, Cool Colt. Hopefully he's still here. First, Hicktown Honey, number 2. After that is Mad Max. I'm here. Catitude, Tefel, West Virginia Pappy's omnipresent, and Alan showed up. Good morning. Spags, hey. And Beecher showed up. Good to go. I see that some notifications are starting to go out. I don't know what in the heck YouTube is doing, to be honest with you guys. I hate to blame my problems on them, but the bottom line is people are pushing buttons and stuff is not happening. Jordan, I'm in the middle. Gotcha. Let's see here. Damn, what is going on? I don't understand what is... All of my analytics are like off. JB, good morning, bro. Blaine, good morning. It should be showing me all sorts of stuff that it is not showing me right now. So, you know what I might do? I might recycle this. I don't think it'll cause any problems. But let's see. Admin note, a couple of admin notes. First and foremost, Thanksgiving will be obviously in a few days. Tomorrow, we actually start our Thanksgiving process a day in advance. So tomorrow, there will be no live stream tomorrow or Thursday. Man, we got all sorts of people popping in the YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Chester, Rebecca. And there will be no live stream tomorrow, and there will be no live stream on Thursday. Now, as far as tomorrow, I'm telling you that because we have to drive over to Virginia Beach to pick up the keys to her new car. When she bought it, it literally just came off the truck, and the keys were still in a box locked up someplace where they keep all the magical keys, and they hadn't got them out. So we got to go get those that done. Did you ever find out who the... I got to find out. Let me come back to that. That sounds like an interesting question. But anyway, got to go to Virginia Beach tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time we're going to do it. So I can't promise you that there'll be a live stream tomorrow. But you know what? If there is, I will... If there's going to be a live stream tomorrow morning, I will announce it in the YouTube posts, their little message system that gives me the ability to like make a post for you guys to interact with. Oh, let's see. Second admin thing. Well, I'm trying to click these buttons so hard. YouTube. There we go. Clicked on that. Is Penny. Penny is solid. Penny is firm. And she's doing much better, guys. To those of you that suggested the pumpkin and rice, that appeared to do it. Yesterday, I fed her regular. She normally gets like these I don't know how to explain it. They look like a giant sausage, but it's just like it's a wet food. I think it's cooked, but you can buy them at Walmart in the refrigerator section where the animal stuff is kept. And it's like a giant sausage like this. It's like that big around, and I give her half a pound every morning, and so I gave her that, and then whatchamacallit, in the afternoon I gave her a little bit of dry food, and then we talked about the pumpkin and rice. So I went and got some pumpkin and some minute rice, and made that up for her, and she hadn't made a mess. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. So to you that suggested that, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Let me click on over here to YouTube Studio and see if I can get my analytics working so that I can actually pay attention to what you guys are doing. It helps me to keep track of your comments and such. If you guys had a chance to... that is not what I wanted. I wanted to click create, go live. All the buttons are different over here for some reason. We're going to click on that and stream settings, and all right, there we go. So I guess it was just like a hiccup. is what it came down to. Let's see here. Bradley says, just getting back. It never just plays till after I close and reopen. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's. There's so many questions, YouTube. We have so many questions. And if you guys couldn't tell by the thumbnail, Penny, no, lay down. Penny, on the pad. Thank you. I've actually trained her because you guys didn't know she's incontinent. I've actually trained her to lay on a pad that I can like wash and stuff so it doesn't destroy the house. Let's see here. Did you ever find out who your admin was that removed the heckler? No. I forgot all about it. At some point, I probably need to check and see who my admin is because I don't remember making an admin on YouTube. I've always been staunchly against that. I will give admin rights to one or two people that I know are going to be looking out in the best interest and will actually contact me if something wacko goes weird. But it's very on videos. I almost never give like admin rights to anybody. So let's see here. So we've got both platforms fired up. Whichever platform you're on, if you haven't checked in, say hi. Please do that now so I can say hi back to you. Looks like there's 4 or 5 of you out there on the old clapper-ons. Let's see. Virginia Beach sounds like a good time to wear that pink singlet. Not a freaking chance in hell. I tell everybody I threw it away, but it's in a drawer someplace. I just have fun with that kind of stuff. I mean, you guys bought it, so I put it on. Anyone ever take their turkey out of the freezer yet? I hope so. It normally takes 2 or 3 days to thaw a turkey. Let's see. Yes, turkey on the roll in the fridge since Sunday. There you go. Thanks, Hicktown, honey. Okay, let's see here. Since the old clapper-ons just want to sit there and not do anything, or not to engage socially, then we'll get this party started. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and knock out the ridiculous news. Researchers say that they have developed a new sodium-ion battery that has no lithium, cobalt, or nickel, which would end dependence on precious metal mining. Salt batteries work. They're just not great. It's actually very old technology, but hopefully they can do something with it. Invest in salt. It could be the battery of the future. You just never know. No, West Virginia Pappy, I caught you, bro. I even called you out as first. But all your little compadres that are hiding in the background don't want to talk, so it's okay. Let's see. The U.S. will suspend military aid to Azerbaijan due to the conflict with Armenia. If you did not know this, Azerbaijan and Armenia are. Chinese scientists say that they have created a fingertip, just the tip, guys, that can mimic human touch and recognize different textures. Isn't that special? Scientists think they have the answer to why red wine causes headaches. A recent study says that the culprit is a flavanol called quercetin. And that's all the dumb news for today. Okay, so if you guys were paying attention at all to the thumbnail, Robbing Road Salt Bunkers. There you go. Window Liquor, good to see you, bro. If you were paying attention to the thumbnail, I wanted to talk to you guys today, and this will obviously get flagged. There's going to be the next. If you're watching this video, the replay of this video, I guarantee there's a flag saying, "Would you like to know more about the World Economic Forum?" So, what I wanted to do is I ran across a couple of articles, and then I was actually listening to something on the walk this morning. Let's see that they all are using the same catchwords. We're going to go over a few of them. But the idea, oh my God, the idea is to educate you a little bit about what they're actually doing instead of just the tinfoil hat stuff. Where are we at? Let me get here. The set of conspiracy theories around the Great Reset are nebulous and hard to pin down, but piecing them together gives us something like this. The Great Reset is the global elite's plan to instate a communist world order by abolishing private property while using that thing we can't talk about to sow overpopulation and enslaving what remains of humanity with that thing. Intrigued by the plethora around last year's summit, I decided to find out what the WEF's Great Reset Plan really was. At the heart of the conspiracy theories are supposed... I'm going to need to make this bigger because it's just too hard to read like that. That's what she said. At the heart of the conspiracy theories are supposed secret agendas and malicious intent. While these may be absent from the WEF's Great Reset Initiative, what I found was something almost as sinister hiding in plain sight. In fact, more sinister because... I need to close this out. In fact, more sinister because it's real and it's happening now. And it involves things as fundamental as our food, our data, and those things. The Great Reset. The magic words are stakeholder capitalism. You guys need to be thinking about these words. Stakeholder capitalism. That all sounds very benign, but it actually turns into something. Good morning. Good morning, Maddie. Good to see you there. Good. Where are we at here? Yawn number 1. It's actually like yawn number 6 or 7. It just made me yawn. Woo! Good morning, Bird Lady. Good to see you. The magic words are stakeholder capitalism, a concept that the WEF chairman Klaus Schwab has been hammering for decades, and which occupies pride of place in the WEF's Great Reset Plan from June of 2020. The idea is that global capitalism should be transformed so that corporations no longer focus solely on serving shareholders, but become custodians of society by creating value for customers, suppliers, employees, communities, and other stakeholders. The way the WEF sees stakeholder capitalism being carried out is through a range of multi-stakeholder partnerships, bringing together the private sector, governments, and civil society across all areas of global governance. Now, what this is really talking about, good morning, Eagle Lover, good to see you. What this is really talking about is a transition. The Great Reset, a change. It's a transition from the government running things to big business running things in collaboration with the government. But what we know from our past is that doesn't always work out. So let's go here. The idea of stakeholder capitalism and multi-stakeholder partnerships, here we go with these stakeholders again, might sound warm and fuzzy until we dig deeper and realize that this actually means giving corporations more power over society and democratic institutions less. Did you catch that? The plan from which the Great Reset originated was called the Global Design Initiative. You guys can actually go look that up. Drafted by the WEF after the 2008 economic crisis. The initiative contains a 600-page report. God, no one's good. I'm getting tired from even thinking about reading it. Oh my God. The 600-page report on the transformation, transforming global governance. In the WEF's vision, the government voice would be one among many without always being the final arbiter. That's funny. World Economic Forum. The government voice would be one among many without always being the final arbiter. Now, if the government is not the final arbiter, then who is? Okay, and why? Well, because the government is of, by, and for the people, right? Oh, but under that plan, that wouldn't happen because the government wouldn't be the final arbiter. Interesting. Basically just taking your power away by getting rid of the government. Governments would be just one stakeholder in a multi-stakeholder model of global governance. Describes a report the most comprehensive proposal for redesigning global governments since the formulation of the United Nations during World War II. If you think that's some scary shit, type 1 in the comments. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're thinking. West Virginia Pappy says, we got an ancient ocean under West Virginia. A company here retrieves salt from it. I got you. That's good. That's pretty good. Why is nobody? There we go. RC showed up. Good to see you, bro. Our Mad Max says it never works out. I'm going to check the chat real quick here while you guys are doing that. Some weird stuff just popped up on my screen I got to get rid of. Let's see here. All right. So we're all seeing that, yeah, this scares the shit out of us. And it should, because they like to use 1 to the 10th power, Bradley says. Good job. Math. Science. It should scare the shit out of you. It really should, because, excuse my French, but, these people that they just, hey, I've got this great idea. Let's make the world better by making us richer and taking away control of your life from you because we believe that we can do a better job than you do. Interesting. But the plot actually gets deeper. The bad stuff actually kind of makes itself more visible once you get into the documents and once you actually start reading about what their overall plan is. It's written down, guys. Let me take a sip of this or I'm going to start yawning again. Who are these non-governmental stakeholders? The WEF, best known for its annual meeting of high net worth individuals in Davos, Switzerland, describes itself as an international organization for public-private corporate cooperation. Sounds sweet. Sounds super warm and fuzzy. WEF partners include some of the biggest companies in oil, Saudi America, Shell, Chevron, BP, food, Unilever, Unilever, never heard of them, but apparently they're huge. Unilever, the Coca-Cola Company, Nestle, technology, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and pharmaceuticals, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Moderna. Isn't that special? Instead of corporations serving many stakeholders in the multi-stakeholder model of global governments, corporates are promoted to being official stakeholders in global decision-making, while governments are relegated to being one of many stakeholders. In practice, corporations become the main stakeholders, while governments take a backseat role, and the civil society is mainly window dressing. This has to make you wonder, the conspiracy theory stuff is that they go to Davos every year and sit down and decide what their plan is for the year, right? Which is all exactly what they're doing. But now that we look at it from the perspective of this stakeholder issue of Nestle having or Apple having the same level or same level of vote or partnership as a government would. It's almost as if the government that is supposed to be of, by, and for the people is not really being, it's not, the things that we want to happen are not actually happening, because these people who say that they want to help the world are actually only really helping themselves. Isn't that special? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what they call the multi-stakeholder ecosystem. All these fancy words, isn't that special? That appear to be just completely bypassing the Constitution. Perhaps the most symbolic example of this shift in the controversial Strategic Partnership Agreement the United Nations signed with the WEF in 2019. Harris Glickman describes this as a move to turn the UN into a public-private partnership, creating a special place for corporations inside the UN. So corporations inside the UN. Once again, corporations equal or they're basically equal partners or stakeholders within the UN. Isn't that special? The multi-stakeholder model is already being built. In recent years, an ever-expanding ecosystem of multi-stakeholder groups has spread across all sectors of the global governance system. There are now more than 45 global multi-stakeholder groups that set standards and establish guidelines and rules in a range of areas. Isn't that special? These people who just run companies are setting standards and guidelines and rules for the rest of us. This is a problem, guys. This is a pretty serious problem. According to Gleckman, these groups, which lack any democratic accountability, consist of private stakeholders, big corporations, who recruit their friends in government, civil society, and universities to join them in solving public problems. Gee, I wonder what those public problems could be and how they actually affect us as the citizens. Multi-stakeholderism is the WEF's update to multilateralism, which is the current system through which countries work together to achieve common goals. The multilateral system's core institution is the UN. The multilateral system is often rightly accused of being ineffective, too bureaucratic, and skewed toward the most powerful nations. Seems legit, but it is at least theoretically democratic, because it brings together democratically elected leaders of countries to make decisions in the global arena, which is exactly what should be happening. What they're trying to do is make it go in the opposite direction. Instead of reforming the multilateral system to deepen democracy, the WEF's vision of multi-stakeholderism governance ensures further removing democracy by sidelining governments and putting unelected stakeholders, mainly corporations, in their place when it comes to global decision making. This is a serious issue, guys. I can't say it enough. Put bluntly, multi-stakeholder partnerships are public-private partnerships on the global stage, and they have real-world implications for the way our food systems are organized, how big the tech is governed, and how those things that we can't talk about and medicines are distributed. Interesting stuff, guys. Interesting stuff. I'm going to go ahead and go to the chat right now. If you guys have a comment on what I just put, please, or just said, please put it in the comments. It's important that we not just get the word out, that we actually communicate and then we understand what is actually happening here. For those 20 of you on the YouTube side that are hanging out, hey, I appreciate you guys keeping those numbers solid for me. Normally they wave up and down, but I'm looking at them and it's just for that line. You guys are just hanging out there, just listening to my every word. Looking at the chat, let's see here. RC says, official stakeholder of Klaus. Oh my God, I could never be on TV. Official stakeholder of the Klaus/Biden oligarchy. Let's go to Disney World. There's a lot of power in that world that RC just said. You know, Disney has been trying to do this forever. They are managed by the Chinese, but they also have they're stakeholders within the WEF. So Disney has as much of a voice as whoever we send from the United States. And it's just interesting, this whole WEF thing. It's not official. It's not real. It's almost like we have to attend, because if we don't, then the world is making decisions without us. The America is the world's superpower. There are some that would say that China is now the superpower. And according to their latest get-together last week, there's enough room for 2 superpowers, guys, and we're going to keep doing what we want to do. And that actually happened too. So we have to stay on point. We have to be aware that these things are happening. And we have to, from time to time, tell some people that may not like to hear what we're saying, what is actually happening. These are from their own documents. These are from their own. This isn't some tinfoil stuff out where we're just kind of just paraphrasing or we're taking a single sentence out. These are things that they're actually doing. Let's see here. Alan says this is an important topic. Absolutely. Let's see. Look at the actual members of the WEF. Oh, exactly, exactly. And if you guys didn't know this, the WEF has an education system that they've been training people in for years, and a lot of those same people are showing up in our governments. Alan is a friend of mine, and he's Canadian, and he knows that there's a whole buttload of people, to include Mr. Trudeau, who was trained by the WEF, who was educated by them to think a certain way and believe in certain ideas. And if you think that they're not actually if you think that they're not actually communicating, then you are a fool, because they're all friends. They're all the same. They're the bird of what's the word I'm looking for here? They're all the same. They're all the same bird of a color or something like that. Or no, they're all the same bird of a feather. They all come from the same bird. So it's absolutely crazy. So the kids, West Virginia Pappy says the kids nowadays would probably go for it. Um, you know, do you guys remember when it was huge, when it was like globalization? Globalization. I want to say that they started really pushing that back in the 80s. And America's like, no, America. And that's why we turned into the ugly Americans, because we didn't want to operate in a global economy. If you wanted to buy our shit, that was great. But we can make our own stuff. And that was the mentality that we had. That's where Made in America actually came from, guys, because they were pushing so hard for economic globalization, so that they get their nasty little fingers inside of here. There was a time when foreign companies couldn't buy property in the United States, and somehow that just magically started happening. So there was a major push for globalization, and now that they've got their foot in the door, they think that they could start maybe we get a couple of these companies to start telling you guys what to do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more here, because I have much more to cover. Where are we at here? Let's see. Window Liquor says same pile of shit. Yeah, pretty much. The difference is that here's the real difference is that these people cannot be held accountable. Think about it. These people that are meeting, they meet in Davos once a year. If you think they don't communicate when they're not meeting, you're a fool. But these are the people that are controlling the world. And if if Bill Gates calls up Klaus Schwab, and Klaus Schwab calls up old El Presidente and says, we need to go in this direction because this was part of our plan from Davos. Aye, sir. That's what's happening, guys. And we're being led in a direction that, whether it's good for us or not, is not democratic. They've completely bypassed the Constitution. Regardless of what country you're living in, they've completely bypassed your Constitution. It's a problem. Let's see here. Wings of the Same Bird. Close, Mad Max. What do we got here? Maddie says Macron, Jacinda Ardern, all WAF leaders. Absolutely. They're drinking the same Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah, every day. Lots of them have to be to the EP island. Oh, God. I honestly believe that. The whole, not to get sidetracked here, because this is too important. The whole Epstein Island thing, guys, that was nothing but just a giant trap. That's all that really was. Epstein was a nobody who came out of nowhere, who never did anything he said he was going to do, except for take people on planes to islands to have sex with children. And so that they could video it and record it and then have something on those people. Have you guys noticed that the people on the list are all very influential people? They're not just like some dude who became a rock star and wanted to bang 12-year-olds. That's not what it was. These are all very influential people that have lots of power, and they do this so that they could use it as leverage when the time comes to make something happen. I got a guy. I know this guy. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Those kind of words, the very mafioso type words, right? That's the whole purpose of Epstein's Island. All right, so getting back on point. Let's go on back to the chat right here. I thought it was the birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, exactly, bro. You got it right. I think you're right, but I think there's a couple of ways to use it. Where are we at here? You guys are talking to each other. We got those people over there. What do we got going over on the Clapper side? Non-elected people answering to no one acts. Absolutely. That is what the the World Economic Forum stands for. I'm going to read that again, West Virginia Pappy. Non-elected people answer to no one. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. All right, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to continue on because now we're going to start talking about the main topics that actually affect you, okay? And I can't believe I did that because there's actually another dude out there that freaking, he's like, and you. And I'm like, click, go away. All right, so this one is, this section is called The Future of Food. Everybody likes food. I like food. In autumn 2021, the UN is set to host the World Summit on Food Systems in Rome. This is necessary given that 3.9 billion people, more than half of the world's population, are currently oh my God. Are currently battling hunger and malnutrition, even though there is enough food to feed the world. But this year's summit differs significantly from past UN food summits, embracing the multi-stakeholder inclusivity, more catchphrases, in which the private sector has an important role. A concept note from 2019 showed that the WEF was set to be involved in organizing the summit, though it is not now clear what the role of the WEF will be. Interesting. They're involved, but no one knows why. Abandoning pesticides is not on the table. How come? Asked Sofa Monslave of the FIAN International, a human rights organization focused on food and nutrition. There is no discussion on land concentration or holding, did I read that right? Concentration or holding companies accountable for their environmental and labor abuses. Isn't that special? This fits into a bigger, This fits into a bigger picture. Monslaves sees the large corporations which dominate the food sector being reluctant to fix the problem system. They just want to come up with new investment opportunities. Do you see? First, they take away your rights. First, they take away your decision making by using non-elected people. But these non-elected people's agenda is to make their company bigger, better, and cost more and make money and things of that, which in the end come down to your pocket. The FIN International, together with 300 other organizations, have expressed their concerns about the multi-stakeholder setup in an open letter to the Secretary General of the United Nations. In a meeting with civil society groups who signed the letter, Amina Mohammed, the UN Deputy Secretary General, assured them that strong safeguards would prevent a corporate capture of the event by allowing only platforms or networks and no single corporation to the summit. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? I love when they say safeguards. I love when they say guardrails, and that means that they're admitting that there is a problem or a potential issue that could run what they're doing off the rails, or it would leave them open for a company or companies to take over their business of food. Interesting. But for Monslave, this only makes it worse. New corporations can protect their interests and hide behind these platforms because it's unclear who is in there. Exactly. It's like, you're here. Let's just gather everybody together and have this big kumbaya, but no one knows who's actually part of this group making these decisions about our food. Indeed, a corporate partner list is nowhere to be found on the official website. The FSS organizers were contacted for comment but had not responded by the time of publication. The signatories to that letter, that with corporate involvement in the summit, food will continue to be treated as a commodity and not a human right. If unchanged, the industrial food systems will continue to have irreversible impacts on our health and the health of our planet. So they're trying to decide. They've decided that they're going to decide what they're going to do about us and our food. It kind of reminds me when I think about these people screwing with our lives, it reminds me of, does everybody remember the cigarettes that Bruce Willis smoked in the very beginning of the movie The Fifth Element? How they were a regular size cigarette, but instead of this much filter, it was this much filter, and then that was the cigarette. How people were just deciding. They were just deciding for us what was going to be best for us, with no regards as to how we even felt about it. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. West Virginia Pappy says, my county here wants all livestock to be registered. That's a problem, man. That's an absolute problem. There's no need for it. There's absolutely no justification for it, regardless of what they put on paper. It's all hogwash. It's all hogwash. If you guys don't know what hogwash is, you might want to look it up. I'm going to go ahead and check the YouTube chat. Bird Lady says, yes, future of food. Alan says, while they are taking away our rights, they're always saying it's for our safety and protection. Yeah, I love how they do that. It's best. We're doing this for you guys. No. Whenever somebody is doing something and they're saying that it's for you or it's in your best interest, there's always someone else's interests that are being served. Maddie says, look at the world. Food places burnt down everywhere. No rice from India now. Netherlands shut 3,000 farms. Chickens cold. Beef cold. No fertilizer. Strange, don't you think? No, we don't think it's strange. We don't think it's strange, Maddie. And we don't think it's strange because it's clear, with the exception of food plants burning down, it's very clear that they're doing everything in their power to, and I'm going to say this, you guys may not like this. You guys may not like this. And if you agree with me, type 1 in the chat. If you disagree, type 2. It is very clear to me that they are attempting to cull the human race. And the way you do that is by starving them to death. Remember what I said. 1 if you agree, 2 if you disagree. All right, because that's what it comes down to, guys. There's absolutely no reason for these people to put these kind of controls on things. There's absolutely no reason. There's no reason for people to say, don't use fertilizer anymore, even though they know that fertilizer allows farmers to grow 40% more food. It's cyclical. People don't see the math. So if you can't make 40% of the food, and then the next year you have a bad yield, you've lost 80% of production. That leaves you 20% to feed the world. Guys, we've always had bad times, and as human beings, we've all been able to rebound. But when we're actively going after our own people, it's a problem. It's a huge ass problem. And then they wonder why people are clinging to their guns. And here's the thing, guys. You need to tell your friends about this too. I'm not going to get sidetracked here, but you need to tell your friends. If you have somebody around you that is telling you that you should give up your firearms, they're not your friend. They're dumb. You take them to the range and make them see the light. And if they don't, I hate to say it, but you might want to disconnect yourself from that friendship, because these are the same people that when somebody shows up on their doorstep is going to point down the road at your house. Let's see here. Maddie says, I heard 70% loss without fertilizer. Well, I mean, it depends on the crop, to be honest with you, because some crops can be influenced more with fertilizer than others. Let's see here. 1.5 cuz I'm still on the fence about it. I think it's more about making value go up. The value of what? The value of what? Value is going to go up when you run out of everything. That's why the cost of our food is going up right now. Not because they're trying to call it the human race. The cost of our food is going up because we can produce less of it, and it costs more to get it to you from farm to human being to consume it. That's why the price is going up. Let's see here. Light Raider says, I'm late. Oh, don't tell your boyfriend. Let's see. Type 1 in the comments if you got that. Type 2 if you didn't. That's absolutely hilarious. Let's see. The cost of demand with lowering of supply. Absolutely. So sorry, wondered that poorly. No, it's not a big deal, Bradley. I'm a little spun up. I don't like to talk about the World Economic Forum because for lack of better words, they are evil. They're absolutely evil. And if you invited somebody over to your house, okay, for dinner, and you could have known each other, maybe they're just people from work, and you're trying to build your friendship. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter how long. If you invite somebody over to your house and they come in and they say, we're going to move all your furniture around because we'd like to see it this way. We believe that it's better. What are you going to think to that? You're going to think, get the frick out of my house. You're not my friend. I don't know, why was I trying to be friends with you? These people have shown their true colors. We've known about them for years, but everybody's like, oh, those crazy bastards over there, don't worry about them. No, that's not the case. They are a problem. And the big problem is that they're everywhere. They are not this omnibus blob that we can throw sticks and stones and daggers at. They're everywhere. It's like a spider web of evil, these people. They're spread out everywhere globally. So, yeah, everybody got the joke. Good. Let's see here. Cat2 says small can of sliced mushrooms went from 79 to a 1.99 or $1.99. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous because we kind of did it to ourselves. We let this happen. We weren't staying on the ball. Oh, Angel, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. My Z have RC. What is that? Yes, sir. My Z I have. I don't know what that means. I probably should. Retracted. It's probably just a misprint. Not a big deal, man. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and move on here because I could talk about people messing with our food forever. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is big tech, government big tech. I say excuse me, but it's much too late. I'm not rude. I'm just an ogre. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Big tech, governing big tech. Oh, you're gonna govern yourself, right? While you govern us. Our governments can't do this. What makes you think you can? Another landmark in the development of stakeholder capitalism can be found in the big tech sector. As part of his 2020 roadmap for digital cooperation, the UN Secretary General called for the formation of a new strategic and empowering multi-stakeholder high-level body. Let me read that to you again. Let's see if you guys catch on to this. The UN Secretary called for the formation of a new strategic and empowered multi-stakeholder high-level body. Strategic, people that are thinking about the things that are going on around them and how they can change them. Empowered, they have authority. Multi-stakeholder, a group, high-level body. They're above all of the lower people that might have an idea or that might have formerly had control of this situation. So we literally just built a group of people to do what he couldn't get the other group of people to do. Again, it's not easy to find a list of stakeholders, but after some digging, a long list of roundtable participants for the roadmap, including Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and the WEF. Isn't that special? It's pretty convenient, right? Big tech governing big tech. Although the functions laid out for this new body are quite vague, civil society organizations fear it will come down to big tech creating a global body to govern itself. This risks institutionalizing these companies. Resistance, did I read that right? Resistance against effective regulation both globally and nationally, and increasing their power over governments and multilateral organizations. Power. If the body comes to fruition, it could be a decisive victory in the ongoing war. And they call it GAFAM. If you guys have never heard the term GAFAM, it stands for Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft. They're waging war with the governments over tax evasion, antitrust rules, and their ever-expanding power over society. Whenever you guys hear about how Microsoft or Facebook had to go testify before Congress, it's because they're breaking the rules, because they think they can do what they want to do, because they think that they can get away with it. And they have millions and billions of dollars, so they just slap them with a fine. Because none of these rules that are designed to control these companies are felonious at all. They just throw money at it. More than 170 civil society groups worldwide have signed another open letter to the Secretary General of the UN, this time to prevent the digital governance body from forming. The Secretary General was approached for comment, but had not replied at the time of publication. Well, people are seeing, people are fighting back, West Virginia Pappy, an elite ruling group. Yes, and here's the funny thing is they're not elite at all. They're just forming their own little groups. They're like, you know what, hey, you guys come over here. Look, we're going to take this shit over, and we're going to say that we're doing a good thing, and that we know what we're doing, and no one even needs to know who we are, but they just need to know at some point that we're going to do it. That's exactly their plan. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so the last thing that I was going to talk about in that other thing, this is going to be very difficult. I don't think that I can actually talk about this. Okay, I don't even think that I can actually say the words. There's an initiative within the World Economic Forum, and I'm going to spell it phonetically, and then I want you guys to look it up when we're done. So if you got something to scribble on right now, I want you to scribble down Charlie, Oscar, Victor, Alpha, X-ray. Okay? I mean, this is so serious that I can't even say it here on the YouTubes. All right? I want you guys to look up Charlie, Oscar, Victor, Alpha, X-ray. Okay? There's a whole paragraph on here, and it's how the UN is going to, or not the UN, but the World Economic Forum is going to start using the companies that make medicines to control those things globally, and that is titled. Remember, look for it. Okay, it's a word. It's an actual acronym, but I think it's more of an amalgamation of an acronym. It's Charlie, Oscar, Victor, Alpha, X-ray. Okay, so you guys look that up. That's your homework. Okay, I was going to make a secondary video to this later on today, but the information on it is very, very sparse, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Don't put it in the chat. You found it. Thank you very much, Bird Lady. Do not put that in this chat. Don't even type that in the chat. Okay. Because that is their plan to control these things. I might actually do a video and put it up on Rumble, and I will put that link someplace for you guys at some point. Okay. I might have enough data to talk about it, but it's part of their 3-layered plan. Remember, we talked about at the very beginning, the food. Remember the food, technology, and then those things that we can't talk about. Okay, so that's all in there. All right, where are we at here? And then we're gonna close this part out by saying that they're talking about stake out stakeholder capitalism. So if the WEF or Bill Gates is not responsible for that thing that we can't talk about that went around the world and shut everything down, even if the things are not laced with microchips to control our thoughts, something fishy really is going on in the realm of global governments. If you value your right to public health, to privacy, to access to healthy food, or to democratic representation, be wary of the words stakeholder capitalism when they pop up at the next Davos summit. Pretty interesting article. I'm not even going to tell you where I found it because then you won't watch me. No. I can leave a link someplace, but I think I'll do that later. And the reason will be because I want this video to go out to as many people as possible. So here's what I'll ask you to do. You guys have Twitter accounts. You guys have Facebook accounts. You have all sorts of accounts. If you could please share a link to this video with your friends, with your, I do a lot of stuff with, I'll just leave this here. Okay. So that people understand that I'm trying to share it with them, but I'm not going to force it down their throats. If you could do that, we could really get a little bit more information out to the people, and they might actually understand it. The problem is that whole thing where we complained about our kids only having 5-second attention span because of TikTok. It's leaching into the adult world. Many of them are adults now. They say the youth, the youth. Space where they do polls is from 18 to 32. They consider people 32 years old to be in that youth demographic. That's interesting. Gee, I wonder why that would be. We're starting to see that whole 5-second attention span thing leaching right into our adults. And it's a serious, serious problem. Guys, I still mentor my children. My children are in their 30s. I still mentor my children. They come to me, or I go to them. What do you think about this? Well, I think this. Why? What would I do about that, Dad? Well, I would do this, but you're an adult. You have to make your own decision. These 5-second attention spans are doing nobody any good, and they really need to understand some of the complexity of the world. Otherwise, the world is going to eat them alive. Let's see. Link in the Discord to be safe. There you go. That's a good idea. I will drop that in the Discord. Once I will drop that. If you found the thing that we were just talking about that I won't say the word about, do me a favor. Somebody put that in the general channel of the Discord. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and pivot off of that, and I'm gonna check the chat before getting out of here, because I think what you guys say is important. Let's see. Okay, Bird Lady, this should be interesting. I've been practicing eating eggs and out of my garden. Okay. Occasionally out of our ponds. We live in the middle of the woods, so I'm also learning how to identify wild plants and herbs. Excellent. This is reaching back to when we were talking about our food. Not everybody has the ability to do that. My life changed significantly. I had a 6 acres that every tree or bush had a berry or nut coming off of it. I had my own garden. I had chickens. I was self-sufficient, and now my life has changed significantly to where I cannot do that. So how we prepare is great. Bird Lady, you keep doing what you're doing, lady, because you're on your game and you need to stay on it. So there's that word again. I'm not sure. Multi-stakeholders. Got you. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Maddie says, I try warning my friends. Most don't want to know, even closed minds. I pick my targets now. Absolutely. And how do you do that? It's like, hey, Have you guys heard about what the WEF is doing? What's that? Oh, the WEF? What's that? That sounds dirty. World Economic Forum? Ah, man, I got bigger problems, man. I can't pay my gas bill. And that's their mentality. So, whoever's going to go be the strong arm to influence this BS, they need to be held accountable. Yeah. Agreed. The problem is we suck at holding people accountable. The only people that get held accountable for anything are the people that are on the opposite side of the ruling party's political agenda. Those are the only people that are held accountable. You guys didn't figure that out yet? And it sucks. It's stupid. But that's the way it is. Right now, anyway. Let's see here. Maddie says they are playing out George Orwell's 1984 novel. Some would think it would be a guidebook, but I think more. DePhil says more like Animal Farm. Yeah, it's a bunch of freaking crazies running around, blue-haired hippies, just doing the craziest stuff, just doing the absolute craziest stuff. Okay, so what do we got here? I think I've run out of time and I've run out of things to talk about, guys. Once again. Don't forget, there's a very good chance there will not be a live stream tomorrow, but if there is one, I will notify you guys on the YouTube side through the posts system inside of YouTube. On the Clapper side, I will make a short video for you guys explaining there will be no video or no live stream today, or live stream on Wednesday. Thursday is definitely a no-go. I'll probably drop a line to my Patreons, but that's about it. If you guys are interested in joining the Patreons, go find a link someplace. They're everywhere. Support the channel, that kind of thing. Let's see. Don't forget, if you guys have not liked and subscribed, if you're new, hit that subscribe button, get the notifications. If you haven't hit that like button, please do that now since this is over with. And on the Clapper side, whatever you guys do over there, I do it. Do what you do over there. I don't know. I think that's going to be about it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And as usual, stay safe. Have a great day. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye. Gonna push this button over here. Where the hell's the button at? Press the like button. I can't press the like button. I can't do it. This is like the blooper section. All right, it's that one right there. Later, guys.